Hi, my name is Michael Hicks, and this week we're talking about the selection matrix for our aggregate company. And I have cornered you in the elevator. You can't get away. Just wanted to let you know I finally got all the emails back from all of the management personnel and key personnel that would be using the aircraft for the company. Just a little recap, I asked them to supply a value of 1 through 4, 1 being the lowest, 4 being the highest, to a list of items that I provided in the email. Well, I got them back and averaged everything out, and the top of the list was direct operating cost and maintenance cost per hour. Those both had a 4. Purchase price and the range with a max payload came in with a value of 3. Then payload with max fuel and cabin volume and value factor came in as a 2. And then, since we're not going to be doing any kind of heavy lifting and we're basically looking at new aircraft only, those were the least important with 1. So I applied those numbers into a program, and I compared the CJ4, the CJ3, the Piaggio 180, and the King Air 350. And got a whole bunch of numbers that aren't going to make sense, but I'll help you understand it. So here's that list that I told you wasn't going to make any sense, and it doesn't. But the easiest way I can explain it to you is the higher the number is, the better it is for us. Yes, including price. This is the only time you want to see a higher number for anything related to money, unless it's a paycheck. So that being said, the direct operating costs. The Piaggio comes in first with a score of 72. King Air's got 68. CJ3 has a 56, and then the CJ4 has a 48. Maintenance cost, that was the other most important item. All of the aircraft have identical maintenance costs across the board, so we don't have to worry about any difference in cost when we're working on the aircraft. The purchase price, Piaggio and King Air have the highest number, which means the lowest price, and then the CJ4 and the CJ3, they both have a score of 9 because they cost more. Now the range, how far can we go with a full load of cargo? Bringing in first is the CJ4 with a score of 24. CJ3 is scoring at 21, and then the King Air and the Piaggio are both tied at 18. Now with instead of how far can we go with a full payload, how much payload can we carry with a full tank of gas? The King Air, surprisingly, comes in first with an 18. CJ4's in second with 14. Piaggio's in third with 12. And then the CJ3 is in last place with 10. Now with the cabin volume, Piaggio is leading the group there with 12. King Air has half the cabin volume of the Piaggio with a score of 6. And then the CJ4 and 3 are both tied for last place with 4. And the value factor for each aircraft. Once again, Piaggio is leading the pack with 22, followed by the CJ4 with 20. CJ3 has 16, and then the King Air, once again, bringing the rear at 10. Wing loading, since we're not really going to be carrying any kind of heavy cargo, it's mostly just going to be passengers and bags. It's not that big of an issue. Piaggio leading the pack with 8, and then CJ4 has a score of 5, and then the CJ3 and the King Air both have a score of 4. And with all of these aircraft, they're all going to be new, so they have an identical score of 8. So at the end of it, you have one number, and the best way to describe that is it's a sum of all of the categories into one number, so you can look at that and decide, okay, which one's going to be best for us. So the Piaggio has got the highest rating. Now, looking at Piaggio, it has a score of 236, and I did some looking, and the only aircraft I was able to find that would even come close to knocking the Piaggio out of first place is a 2009 Hawker. Now, the Hawker has a score of 239, but it's also a 14-year-old aircraft, and if you look at the maintenance costs, it's a lower number, which means we're going to pay more hourly to maintain that aircraft than we would any of the new ones. So while it is a older aircraft, it does have a higher score, but since we're going to be most likely spending more money on maintenance, we might want to avoid that one. So overall, I believe the Piaggio would be the best choice for our company. It has a score of 236. Surprisingly, the King Air came in second place with 216, and then the CJ4 and CJ3, they're both competing for a pole position at third place with 204 and 200. But I hope this information helps come to a final conclusion on which aircraft you want to move forward with. And as always, I'm going to corner you again. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you.